Guys, look, I understand that the Wyckoff method seems complicated, but today I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to tell you the mistakes you want to avoid, certain tips to make it simple, and how you can use it to spot the next big move in crypto. Let's jump in. What is going on, everybody? It's Pat from DigitalX, and I am here to explain to you how I use Wyckoff in my everyday trading and how you can do it too. It's actually pretty easy. Now, right here, what you have is all of the diagrams that you're going to need from right to left. The first one, this is an accumulation 1, and you see the difference here. This is an accumulation 2. The only difference is the spring that ends up coming down to take out the low of the range. Now, on an accumulation 2, the only difference is that you get the last point of supply and it doesn't come and take out the lows. Now, when you have a distribution that's up here, this is a distribution 1, this is a distribution 2. And again, it's the same as an accumulation. The only difference here is that you're going to have a UTAD that comes up and takes out the highs of the range, and then here it's not going to come up and take out the highs. It's just going to be the last point of supply, and it's going to go and dump. So those are the two main distributions you want to look out for. The main ones you're going to see are the accumulation 1 and the distribution 1. Now, last but not least, let's get into the redistribution and the reaccumulation. Now, the things you want to watch out for here, these are continuation patterns, which mean it doesn't happen at the top of a trend. It happens when it's going to continue going in the direction that it's already going. So you're going to see, like here, it's an uptrend. It comes up and it starts the range. You get the buy climax, and initially it looks just like a distribution. But the difference is you're going to get the UT like you would up here, the UT, but then it's going to come down and put in a spring and take out the lows of the range. And now a distribution, what it's going to do after the UT is it's going to come down onto the AR low and it's going to bounce. So it'll be a higher low if it's a distribution. That's how you can tell the two apart. Now a reaccumulation is the same thing in the opposite direction. So it's coming down, it starts forming this range, and then after the secondary test in phase B, just like you have here in accumulation, on an accumulation it's going to come up and hit the AR high and reject there. It's going to put in a lower high. Now on a redistribution, it's going to come up and put in a UTAD. It's going to take the highs of the range, and that's how you can tell if it's going to dump or if it's going to continue up. Now this right here, these are the only 6 diagrams that you're going to need for Wyckoff. This is all that I use. I know there's a lot of other material out there, but if you want a basic understanding, something that you can actually use in your everyday trading, I would just stick with these 6, and that's it. You can find it, you do a quick Google search. I'll leave a link down below with this diagram so you can have it and save it if you need it. Alright, so let's come on over here and do some real world examples. Now, the first thing I'm looking at here, this is on the 3-day chart for Solana. And this was something that I had posted about a while ago. It's this macro distribution. And right now we're currently down at the bottom of the range. And you can see I have the diagram up here so you can compare it. Now you had your buy climax, your AR, secondary test, sign of weakness, came up here with the UT, back down, UTAD, test, and now we came with the LPSY. I guess I have to zoom in so you can see that a little better because that happened exactly where it was supposed to happen. Where it came down, put this low right here, bounced back up to here, and then continued down. Now the thing with this is we haven't even started distributing yet. It's still inside the distribution range, which means that it's still setting up at this point. So this is essentially going to continue down further, which I would expect it to end up down here somewhere in the 77, down in 50, maybe even down as low as 20 by the time it's done. Now the second thing I'm looking at here is on the 4-hour, and this is an accumulation 1. At least that's the way I see it happening here. What I wanted to see was for this to come back up onto this AR high up here, and from there, you see it happens right there, from there come down and put the spring in down in that sub 100 area. Now if that happens, that's going to be essentially what we want to see for the macro distribution. But this could be something that would play out locally and then end up dumping down further. So we're looking in this range here for this to continue, maybe take out the lows of the range and then continue a bit in here. This is an important area of support, so we're not just going to break right through it immediately. The other possibility is that this could turn into a distribution, and if that happens, you're going to see it go from the STB, it's going to come take out this SOS high up here, and then it's going to redistribute and continue further down. So that's the other possibility on that we're looking at. Now, the third and final thing I'm looking at is if you come all the way down here to the 1 hour chart, and it's a local accumulation that's currently playing out. You got your preliminary supply right here. You have the seller climax, then you have the AR, automatic rally, secondary test, sign of strength. Then you get your secondary test in phase B, comes back up a little bit, and then the spring. And now this is starting to come back up here. So what we'd want to see, we have our spring test would probably be right here. And then you would get a third bounce off of this secondary test and the seller climax low down here. So that's going to have to come up a little bit, and then it'll back test there. Now, we would like to see this, and it would come back up and take out these highs. Might redistribute from there, might not. But either way, locally, that's why I'm looking for a bounce here. Now, while we're here, let's take a look at some important levels, because we have a couple of fair value gaps that we want to look at. You got these two daily fair value gaps. You have this 4 hour fair value gap. There's another one over here, right up here. So let's just put another one there. And then let's take a look at the liquidity and see how it lines up. All right, so here's our liquidity on Solana. What I'm noticing immediately is that we're running out of long liquidity on the weekly. It goes down to about that 116, 117 area, and that's it. And on the daily, it's right about the same place. So that's why it would be a good time for a bounce, because we have all of this short liquidity above us that needs to get taken out. Now, the short liquidity goes all the way up to around 140, which is an area that I was already watching for other reasons. But let's see how that lines up with our fair value gaps. So 137, 142, so somewhere right up in this area. And you also have this order block right here, which was responsible for this entire structure break. So that's a place you want to be watching, up at 138.86. And below us, what were we saying, 116, 117? That may be also this order block right here. 115, yeah, that's right about the same area. So we have two important order blocks that are in the same places as the liquidity. So those are two places you want to be watching out for, in addition to the fair value gaps. Now, what makes Wyckoff so helpful is that when we see something like this on the liquidity, we can take a look and say, hey, you know, it looks like it should probably bounce. And then we zoom in and we go down to the hourly and we see that local accumulation happening at the same exact time. And you also, at the same time, have some bullish divergences, so you get a lot of confluence by using Wyckoff and by watching liquidity at the same time. Now, if you guys are interested in joining the private Discord, you can see right here we have a lot of trade setups. We just snipe the crap out of these levels. It's crazy sometimes. Like, look at this one. Yesterday at 12:11 p.m., solid long scalps. We put the long level right there. Comes right up, bounces right off. It was perfect. And then we ended up right before this short level, and then we dropped from there. So it worked out perfectly, but this happens every single day. And if you want to see a history, I have it all on my website. Let me scroll through some of that and show you guys. All right, so today let's start down at the bottom. Like you could see here, this ICP setup I gave, I marked it on the chart right where it was and put the timestamp so you could see. I was saying it's pumping, it needs a UTAD. We got our higher low off the AR low, should take the highs next. So I was using Wyckoff in the way that I had just showed you. And it came up and it just kept pumping, and it put in that UTAD exactly where it was supposed to. So Wyckoff works very well if you use it correctly. And also, if you're in my Discord, then I'll use it and I'll tell you what you need to know. So it's a good idea. You should probably check out the Patreon below. You can see here, let's see what this one was. We put 102 as the low right here. And it came right down into that 102 zone, and then it took off. It was perfect. This one was funny. I remember, because I had bought Solana down at like $24. I held it all the way up to 200. But I was like, this is even better than Solana at 24. This was the exact bear market low. So I made this post. I was like, dear everyone, bottoms in, with love, Pat. That was the exact bear market low. That was perfect. So it's just, come check out the website for yourself over here. We have all these trade setups that we absolutely nail, like all the time. So if you want to join any private Discord out there, you should be in ours, because we're the only traders here that actually make money. I feel like most of these other people are losing their ass. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, so I said, according to the 2-hour money flow, there's a monster pump about to happen on Sol. Sell your kids, sell your wife, sell your house, 100x long whole account on Sol. It's like, this is not financial advice, obviously. Don't actually do that, but you get the point, right? So Sol was all the way down here, And I mean, you guys know what happened after that. It went way up over 200. This was back October 16th, right before the big pump. We were still not even at $50 yet at that point. So anyway, this is the kind of stuff that you get in my Discord. So check it out below, and I'll see you guys there.